Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 5.2. Here's your objective. I will be able to find the absolute value of an integer. Now this is a very special lesson for a few reasons. First reason is, I'm going to say hello to Mr. Woodcock. He's watching right now. Hi Mr. Woodcock. The second reason is because this will probably be one of the easiest lessons we do all year, so I think you're going to enjoy it. And the third reason why I love this lesson, absolute value, is because, you know what, I absolutely value all of you. So let's begin. All right, let's go over our vocabulary. Absolute value, the definition. The distance between a number and 0. For example, the absolute value of 7 is 7, and the absolute value of negative 7 is also 7, because both 7 and negative 7 are about the same distance from 0. Exactly the same distance from 0. 7 and negative 7 are both 7 away. They're both 7 hops away from 0. So if I look on this number line right here, let's see if I can do a little hopping along right here. Let's say I'm at negative 2, which I am. Negative 2 is how many hops from 0? 1, 2. Okay? So the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. How about if I'm at positive 2? Let me try to line this up. What's the absolute value of positive 2? Well, it's just 1, 2. Because 2 is 2 hops away from 0. So some other key things to know when you're dealing with absolute value is opposites. So what is the opposite of 4? Well, a 4 is right here. The opposite, well, 4 is how far away from 0? 1, 2, 3, 4 hops. There they are. 4 hops away from 0 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's negative 4. So the opposite of 4, in terms of math, is negative 4. How about what is the absolute value of negative 3? Well, here's negative 3. How many hops is it away from 0? 1, 2, 3. So the opposite of negative 3 would be 3 hops away from 0 on the other side. 1, 2, 3. So the opposite of negative 3 is 3. Now I have a little bonus question for you all to think about and get back to me tomorrow. Take a look at this last question down here. What is the opposite of 0? I'm not going to tell you. I want you to think about it and try to tell me tomorrow first thing when you come to class. So absolute value has a sign. It looks like an 11, or it looks like a couple of L's, or a couple of sticks. I don't know. But it just looks like a couple of straight lines. So that's what the absolute value of sign looks like. So I put the absolute value of negative 3. And what does it equal? Well, negative 3 is how far away from 0? 3. So negative 3, the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. I could do another example right here. How about negative 47? What is the absolute value of negative 47? Well, it is 47 hops away from 0, so the absolute value of negative 47 is 47. Okay? Let's look at a couple more examples on here. Now we can evaluate with absolute value. So I have the absolute value of 5 plus the absolute value of negative 6. Equals, I'm unsure right now. Let's see. How far away is 5 from 0? Well, it's simply just 5. What's the absolute value of negative 6? Well, negative 6 is 6 away from 0, so it's just 6. So 5 plus 6 equals 11. So the absolute value of 5 plus the absolute value of negative 6 equals 11. Let's evaluate negative 7 minus negative 3. So first, let's find our absolute values. Negative 7's absolute value is just 7. 3's absolute value is just 3. So 7 minus 3 equals 4. So the absolute value of negative 7 minus the absolute value of 3 equals 4. And our last example down here. I have the absolute value of negative 8 minus the absolute value of negative 2. How far away is negative 8 from 0? Well, it's just 8 away. How far is negative 2 from 0? It's just 2 away. So I end up with 8 minus 2, which equals 6. So the absolute value of negative 8 minus the absolute value of negative 2 equals 6. And there you have it. Not too difficult, right? All right, now it's your turn at home to have a little bit of fun, and here's your 3 problems. Evaluate negative 5. What is the absolute value of negative 5? Write that down for number 1. Then solve or evaluate the absolute value of 20 minus the absolute value of negative 3. You Go ahead and solve that for your number 2. And your last problem tonight, I might seem really difficult, but I think you can handle it. Evaluate the absolute value of negative 16 plus the absolute value of negative 12. All right, solve those, bring them in tomorrow, and try to answer that little question I asked you. What's the opposite of 0? Does it even have an opposite? All right, thanks for watching. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.